Warren Buffett says, it's not how much you make that makes you rich, it's how much you waste. Let's unpack that a bit. In this video, we'll reveal 14 common things poor people waste money on every day without even realizing it. These habits quickly drain wealth and keep people stuck living paycheck to paycheck. Don't skip the last part. It's the most overlooked and may be why many never reach financial independence. Why do so many people go broke even with a good salary? One reason is buying brand new cars. A new car loses thousands in value the moment it leaves the lot. Buffett himself drives older cars because he knows cars are tools, not investments. Well, think about it. The average new car drops around 20 to 30% in value in the first year alone. That means if you spend $40,000, you may lose $10,000 of that instantly, money that could be invested and grown for years. Wealthy people understand this trade-off. That's why millionaires buy used cars, lease vehicles, or simply keep driving their old car until it truly needs to be replaced. It's not about being cheap. It's about being smart with assets that only go down in value. Cars go down in value every year. Rich people know it. Poor people ignore it. Now, what about everyday spending? Expensive coffees and drinks. A $6 coffee every morning adds up to over $2,000 a year. Buffett prefers simple breakfasts. Little savings compound into big wealth over time. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy a coffee, but the habit of buying it every single day without thinking is what traps people. If that same $2,000 was invested yearly for 20 years, it could grow to over $80,000 depending on returns. That's the hidden cost of small luxuries. With regard to Buffett, his point is clear. Small daily choices add up to massive financial results. Daily habits decide your financial future, not one-time choices. Why do so many people feel broke even right after payday? Here's a big reason: overusing credit cards. Many rack up interest charges on things they can't really afford. The rich use credit wisely, often paying in full and collecting cashbacks or rewards. Here's the trap. You see $1,000 available on a card and think it's your money. Well, surprise, it's not. It's borrowed money with a high price tag. Credit card interest rates often climb over 20%, which means that $1,000 purchase could cost you $1,200 or more if not paid off quickly. Wealthy people flip the game. They treat credit cards like a tool, using them for points or perks, but never paying a dime of interest. Poor people, on the other hand, often pay only the minimum, so the debt never truly goes away. Interest makes the bank rich, not you. What's the silent money drainer in almost every home? Unused subscriptions and memberships. Streaming, apps, gyms. Poor people keep paying even if they never use them. Buffett calls this leaking money. The problem is most people sign up once, forget about it, and months later they're still paying. A $10 subscription might not sound like much, but multiply that across 5 or 6 services and suddenly you're spending $600 to $1,000 a year on things you don't use. The rich review their expenses often and cut what doesn't bring value. Poor people delay, saying, it's just a few bucks. But those few bucks pile up into real money wasted. Ultimately, if you're not using it, you're losing money. Why do some people always look rich but never truly are? Designer clothes and luxury brands. Buffett wears simple suits and keeps them for years. Rich people don't waste money trying to look rich. The truth is, most luxury brands charge 10 times the price for the same quality. That $500 designer shirt doesn't last longer than a $50 one. But poor people fall into the trap of buying labels to impress others instead of building wealth quietly. Buffett has billions, yet he doesn't dress to prove it. He knows that the person who spends to show off is usually the one with the least saved. Trying to impress others is expensive, and it doesn't build wealth. Now here's some food for thought. Is every bite at a fancy place costing you years of savings? Let's talk about eating out too often. A $20 restaurant meal can cost 4 times more than cooking at home. Buffett loves simple, inexpensive food. The danger isn't the occasional dining out, it's the habit. Lunch out every workday can add up to $3,000 to $4,000 a year. Home cooking costs less and is usually healthier. Many poor people say it's just easier to grab food outside. But in reality, that convenience comes at the cost of their financial security. Buffett shows that you can enjoy simple meals and still be satisfied. Here's the hard-to-swallow truth. Poor people eat their money. Rich people save theirs. How about at home? Big houses and high rents. Many overspend on housing, leaving little for investing. Buffett still lives in the modest house he bought in 1958. Most financial experts suggest housing should be no more than 30% of income. Yet many poor people stretch to 40% or even 50% just to live in a nicer place. That decision locks them into years of stress with no money left over for savings or investing. Buffett could buy any mansion in the world, but chooses not to, because he knows happiness isn't tied to square footage. It's about living below your means. More space doesn't always mean more happiness, but it does mean more bills. So, what about entertainment? Lottery tickets and gambling. Buffett calls the lottery a tax on people who can't do math. Millions waste money hoping for luck instead of building steady wealth. The odds of winning the lottery are worse than 1 in a million, yet many people spend hundreds of dollars every year buying tickets. Casinos and online betting apps make billions of people who believe they'll strike it rich. Meanwhile, Buffett invests consistently and lets compound interest do the work. Gambling gives you a rush, but in the long run, it almost always guarantees losses. The odds are stacked against you. Why not invest instead? Why do so many people upgrade too fast? New phones and gadgets. Many people buy the latest models every year, even when the old one works just fine. Buffett uses simple phones, not chasing the newest trend. Technology companies know this psychology. They release new models with only small changes, but market them as life-changing. Poor people fall for the hype, trading in perfectly good devices and paying hundreds or thousands each year. Buffett proves you don't need the newest gadget to be successful. The wealthy use technology as a tool, not as a status symbol. Technology changes fast, but wealth grows slowly. Choose wisely. Now, is your vacation leaving you relaxed or financially wrecked? Unplanned vacations and impulse travel can be costly. Poor people put trips on credit, paying interest for years. Rich people plan, save, and travel within their means. A vacation on credit isn't just expensive, it becomes more costly when interest piles on. That $3,000 trip can easily turn into $4,000 or $5,000 after interest. Wealthy people enjoy travel too, but they plan it months or even years in advance, set aside savings, and avoid debt. For poor people, the need to treat themselves now often leaves them stressed later. Vacations should refresh you, not leave you broke. Okay, let's talk about grocery stores. Buying new brands over generics. Rich people often choose the same quality at lower prices. Buffett himself is famous for loving simple, inexpensive brands. The difference between generic and name brand food is often just packaging, yet millions overspend every week, thinking higher prices equals higher quality. Rich people know the truth. If it tastes the same and works the same, why pay extra? Buffett doesn't spend his billions on fancy groceries. He sticks to basics, proving you don't need to waste on labels. Paying extra for labels doesn't make the food taste any better. How do poor people get tricked online? Paying for get-rich-quick schemes. Courses, scams, quick flips, these promise wealth but deliver nothing. Buffett warns, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Every year, people lose billions to online gurus and scams. They sell dreams of making thousands in days, but most buyers end up poorer. Buffett built wealth slowly, buying good businesses and holding them for decades. Real success takes time, patience, and discipline, not shortcuts. Poor people want fast money, but end up paying for someone else's dream. Patience builds wealth. Shortcuts destroy it. What about health? Skipping preventative care, ignoring checkups, or eating unhealthily leads to costly medical bills later. Buffett values health because money is useless without it. For example, a simple dental checkup might cost $100. Ignore it, and years later you may face a $2,000 root canal. Poor diets and lack of exercise cause similar issues, leading to hospital bills that wipe out savings. Buffett once said he wouldn't trade his health for any amount of money. Wealthy people know prevention is cheaper than cure, and health is the foundation of financial independence. Taking care of yourself is cheaper than fixing yourself later. Okay everyone, here it is. What is the most overlooked money drain? You ready? Here it is. Lifestyle inflation. When income rises, many instantly spend more. Bigger houses, better cars, flashier gadgets. Buffett avoided these traps, keeping the same lifestyle despite billions. This is why so many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. They keep upgrading their lifestyle instead of growing their savings. Buffett stayed in the same home, drove modest cars, and avoided unnecessary luxuries. That's how he built long-term wealth. If your spending grows as fast as your salary, you'll never escape the cycle, no matter how much you make. If your expenses rise as fast as your income, you'll never get ahead. To sum this all up, it's not about luck. It's not about earning millions. It's about cutting waste, living simply, and letting your money grow. Warren Buffett proves wealth isn't built by what you buy, but by what you don't.